With that, let's move on to our final round. And our two competitors, we're just going to pin both of you right away here. So, Sorellen versus Mift, final round. Who is the master debater? Let's find out. Let me pick a topic here really quick. I need both of you to argue self-driving vehicles, for versus against.
Sorellen already called heads.
Heads. All right. Sorellen calling heads. It is tails. Mift, first or second?
Sorellen, I'm still going to let you pick because I don't really care.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can have whatever you want.
Wow. First or second, Sorellen?
I'll go first.
All right, going first. Perfect. 1 minute 30 going up. You're already both pinned. Sorellen electing to go first. Your time begins now.
So when we talk about, the pros and cons of fully automated cars, we got to talk about what fully automated cars would do for society, right? I think it's quite clear that, given the space that they fulfill in our society and the potential that they have and the potential that we're already seeing, fully automated cars are quite clearly going to be the way of the future, and they're quite clearly going to be, a very beneficial thing for society. You look at what fully automated cars could do for us, right? They can make cars go quite a bit faster on the road because then, you no longer have reaction speed. You just have computer programs interacting with each other in a way that can allow them to travel at, 200, 300 kilometers an hour without the risk of crashes, right? We already have these systems where, you've got incredibly fail-safe programs running for things like elevators, right? How often does an elevator fail, for instance? And so the potential for society to just basically have cars that go a lot faster, be a lot more efficient, merge a lot better, is just going to be so much higher with fully automated cars. And of course, the thing about fully automated cars is that they're simply adding on top of manual cars, right? No one is arguing that we're going to make fully automated cars that are not going to allow manual control. You look at things like Teslas, right? You can drive them if you want to, but automated cars are on top. The automated system is on top of that, where it allows the system to go faster. It allows the system to be more efficient, but you can still have your pleasure rides. You can still have your joy rides. You can still go cross country if you want to. We're not arguing that you can't. Fully automated cars on top of that are just going to make societies better as a whole.
All right, Mift, over to you. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Your time begins now.
I think that automated cars are certainly the car of the future, right? But I think what our society has realized in the age of technology is that sometimes our advancements are not for the better. Automated cars are presently shown as the way to fulfill greater demand. But that isn't necessarily a good thing. I think the culture around automated cars is rather unhealthy. It promotes more various ways and a higher degree of reckless driving, putting yourself in positions where you shouldn't be in a car because you feel safer now that it's automated. And it doesn't always work. Like you said, there's always going to be a manual car underneath it because situations arise where it will need to be manual. And people are going to feel more safe in an automated car committing reckless acts of driving that they shouldn't be doing because they think it will work even when it won't. The other thing that I think people should be thinking about is how many issues we have with our cars already today. Right? Like, how many times has your car been called back to the dealership to handle some issue that they have putting into it? What happens when these issues are with the computers that are running the technology that is supposed to keep you safe on the road? What happens when you merge and instead of merging between two cars, you sideswipe one car and cause a 7-car collision? What happens in those cases because of a simple failure in coding? We cannot allow ourselves to become so dependent on technology where we are not able to keep ourselves safe in the ways that we always have. Technology should be something that aids us. It should not be something that...
And that is time. 1 minute 30. Sorellen, back over to you. Your time begins now.
So my opponent brought up this great point about, the fact that people are going to feel more safe in an automated car and be more reckless. And that feels like really a point about promoting car culture, right? It feels like he's arguing against car culture. He's saying that, the more people think about cars as being a good thing, the worse that is for society. And I simply can't get behind that point, right? He's arguing against car culture and the fact that if somehow people believe in cars more, that's going to be worse for society. I just don't buy that argument, and I just don't think that, there is any truth to it, right? The reality is that society has multiple ways of transporting people around, right? Trains, planes, buses, subways, and cars. Cars are just another tool in our arsenal. And the reality is I can't see any arguments against car culture, right, as a complement to other parts of transport, right? If you're arguing for cars taking over trains, that's a different story. Side by side, they both fulfill a role in society. And then to his point that people are going to feel more safe in an automated car and be more reckless, well, I think the statistics for car accident rates in automated cars versus car accident rates in manual cars, that statistic speaks for itself.
All right. Plenty of time left. Mift, 1 minute 30. Back over to you. Your time begins now.
First off, I don't think that we should use statistics from two very different sizable pools, right? We have very different sized pools for the amount of car accidents that occur with automated cars versus manual cars. We can't simply just say, we cannot extrapolate data that we do not have access to yet, because we cannot functionally determine whether a society of automated cars will have fewer accidents, because we do not live in that society, and it doesn't really seem wise to guess that now. I do think that my point was not about car culture, so I'm not sure if that was read correctly, and I apologize if it wasn't. I was more speaking to the fact of the culture around driving itself, not around cars, but around the behaviors that you do while in a vehicle. And those behaviors are only going to be amplified by the idea of the safety of an automated car. I think that we need to be thinking about the implications in a world of hacking, a world of computer interference, in a world of intentional destruction of society and the collapse of technology. And we cannot rely on technology to keep us safe all the time when there are people who are going to use our technology against us when they are able to. Automated cars are just another way that other people can use our own technology as a means of causing damage to our infrastructure, causing damage to our social fabric. And I do not think automated cars are the fail-safe, are the future that our society needs. I think we should rest on our laurels.
That is time. 1 minute, free form, back and forth. Get any last points you both have in now. Your time begins now.
Okay, I just want to address the point that we have different sized pools of data to work on, and that is entirely true that right now, currently we do not have as many automated cars on the road as we do manual cars. That being said, we do have a huge amount of preliminary testing data from a wide array of companies ranging from Tesla, Amazon, Google, which have shown that automated cars as a whole are much, much safer than manually operated cars, as to the point that people are going to be more reckless in these cars. I think you're making the point that people are going to switch between manual and automated control randomly and cause incidents. And the reality
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in the cases of automated cars, people are going to feel more safe entering vehicles when they should not, when they are not in the correct state of mind. And when the situation occurs when they will need to be in a manual mode of driving, they will not be capable of doing it. And they will not make the correct decision for themselves and for other people that are on the road.
Well, we already have fully automated systems such as trains where they're incredibly safe per mile.
I'm not driving the train. Someone else who's paid to drive the train is.
And that's time. That is it for debating. This is it. Everybody, judges, send your votes to Gapped for who you think should be the master debater of episode 3, season 2. Chat, this is the time to vote. If you have not voted yet, now is the time, because now we decide who is the master debater. Let's see if Twitch actually lets me say it this time. Is it Sorellen? For some reason they blocked the word. Don't know why. Or is it Miffed? 3 minutes. They won't let me say it. All right. Spaces in between every letter it is. Fuck you, Twitch.
Wait, they won't let you say what?
They won't let me put the master debater in a title for a poll. So I have to put spaces in between every letter. There we go. Chat, vote. 3 minutes. This is the time to vote. Judges, Gapped, have you collected all of the votes yet?
Odin, I saw my mistake. Don't worry. Gapped made it apparent to me. I'm sorry.
That was fun. That's fun.
Is that 6?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Let's start right dead center. Justice, who did it better?
I just think that overall, Sorellen just had a stronger argument for this one. I just think that her points were more consistent and some of the time more relevant to the topic of what the automated cars themselves are good or bad, rather than what people could do with them. Because ultimately we don't know what people could do with them. You could say someone's going to misuse a piece of technology, and it doesn't make the technology bad, in my opinion. I feel like we should have focused more on the merits of the object itself, and that's what Sorellen did. So I voted for her.
All right. Aaron, who did it better? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm so bad with Zoom. It's literally abhorrent. I voted for Miffed, but only because that latter portion about like the conscious mind and driving when you're not in the right state of mind is a literal argument I've made before. So I kind of already align with those ideals. you know, yeah. I mean, I've agreed with how Sorellen has argued this whole time, but like Sorellen against Myth is kind of like similar. Apples to pears, like same thing to me. So it was kind of hard for me to decide.
Okay.
They have the same culinary use, but not the same like snack use. If you were to put like apples and pears in a pie, that's fine. You could say that's about the same flavor profile. But snacking on apples and pears is different.
Okay. All right. We're gonna just leave it
sure,
at that.
one is way
Odin.
more
We're
dry than the
gonna leave it
other,
at that.
you're right.
Odin. Who did it better?
Miffed. I'm just gonna say this as someone whose car has a top of the line safety rating right now. That's not an automated car. My car freaks the fuck out whenever it can't sense the lines in the road. So imagine an automated car when you're going through a construction zone and it can't sense the lines on the road anymore because you're through construction and they're redoing the road and it starts weaving everywhere because it can't read the lines. That is the videos that I have seen of automated cars right now. They are not ready, and I don't think they ever will be if they can't get these to work correctly in a construction area. So Mift had a very strong argument against it.
All right. Robbie, who did better?
So I felt like both of the so first of all, I want self-driving cars. I want my car to drive me anywhere. That all being said, I felt like from a debate standpoint, Myth had the better debate. When he made the point that when a situation pops up that the computer doesn't know what to do, you know, and then the person, because they're so used to driving self-automated car, they don't know what to do. You know, that really struck home with me. So at that point, I went ahead and he wins that part or this round.
Okay. Earthly, you did it better.
I definitely have to go with Sorellen. I think that it felt like a lot of Miff's points kind of center around this hypothetical of like somebody who's say like sleep deprived or like drunk or what have you, not being able to tend to like their car having a problem like that. And I just don't find that to be like a very good hypothetical, for one, because like I think like once we actually have like self-driving cars that are like functional and reliable enough that it's like becomes like a common thing that people have, I think it's very unlikely that at that point like a drunk person in a self-driving car is ever even going to come or just whatever impairment it is in a self-driving car is ever even going to come close to being as dangerous as somebody that's trying to drive a car manually. So I thought that was like not a very good hypothetical, and I think that definitely Sorellen made like better like counter arguments against that. So yeah.
All right. Germanic, last up here. Who did it better?
So kind of piggybacking on what everybody said, I felt like Sorellen hit home with far more concise points in her debate. Mift definitely tried to counter those, but I feel like when we're talking about the data pool and things like that, there's not enough information to truly say that, you know, these things are problems. But I mean, I can attest right now, the technology is getting better, and automated self-driving cars will become the future, because when you remove the human element, angry drivers, road rage, people having heart attacks at the wheel, drunk drivers, impaired sleeping drivers, and there's a reason why they're looking to do this with big rigs that transport equipment. I mean, the reality is it's far safer when a computer controls that. He did bring up some good points like the hacking and the technology, but when you have these things manually managed, you can update code on the fly. You're able to do these things. And yeah, your car has a problem. You can drive itself to the dealership, get fixed, and drive back to your office, and it's parked in the parking lot by the time you're done with work. I mean, like, there's a lot of benefits that can come about from that. But I feel like both of them argued it very well. Sorellen a bit more pointed. So my vote was for Sorellen.
All right. Now, Gapped, I do believe that is a split on judge voting. Is that 3-3 for both?
Yeah, it is.
Well, with chat vote, Sorellen does take chat vote. 69% of chat vote.
Nice.
Goes to Sorellen. And with that, Sorellen is the winner, the master debater of season 2, episode 3. Congratulations. Very hard fought victories overall. So with that, Sorellen is going to be walking away with the $25 cash prize